So I see here too where I have missed some of the light. Actually quite a bit of light right here above her eye. So you can always edit things. Her eyebrow kind of comes up here. The other pencil that I love using is this one. This is it says Karen Ash watercolor pencil again, but this is Russet. Is it Russet? Yeah, Sanguine Russet. We can start to add in some warms here. So now if I add in these colors and then come with the white gesso, you'll see that they blend. And that might be a little too orange for me, but it's adding that color in. You can always go back over. And shift it a little bit. Just wanted to warm that side up a bit. It was a little cold. And remember, because we're doing expressive portraits, you can overemphasize the color. You know, is that a realistic color for a cheek? Not really, but we can use it because we are doing an expressive portrait. So I'm kind of going back and forth over things. It's kind of blending things a little bit. I rub off a lot of what I have on my brush, and I'm just kind of going over everything. And then if you feel like you're losing your form, you can always come back in with your pencils and kind of reestablish what's happening. So I've got a white charcoal pencil. Let's go in here a little bit. I want to kind of get the light of the eye lid in there. It's pretty big in this portrait, those eyelids. This is another one of the Karen Ash pencils. This is more of a pink. So a lot of times when you see me doing this sort of scumbling or dry brushing, I'm using a very light touch. It's like a feather touch. I'm not scrubbing necessarily. I mean, it's a scrubbing movement, but it's quite gentle at the same time. Going back to the charcoal for a little bit. You'll see me, I often will switch mediums. It helps me kind of keep things a little fresher and looser. You can also, of course, take your brush to your charcoal and soften it. But that's always kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and put a little light in her eyes. This is just my favorite gel pen. I always find that adding a little bit of light adds a lot of dimension to the face. I have to watch that I don't overdo my lights sometimes. I can do that. Just using that russet color to shift things a little bit up there. Actually, I want to. She's got some really great lights around her little lips. And another great pen to have is the Posca. This is the fine one. So you can see this very mixed media. She's got that sharp light kind of on her nose. It's going to be too strong. Just redrawing those lids a little bit. See if I can get. So I'm being very kind of fussy with the face right now. I get a little bit like that. I will be working on the rest, I promise you. Just trying to make sure my form is the way I want it. So I'm making a little pink. Don't want to lose her lids because they're really beautiful. And I think they're very much a part of the expression that we have here from this lovely, lovely girl. she's starting to come around here for me. This is where I might start adding in some little hits of just color, just because. Not still, I haven't gone outside my palette, right? This is basically still blue, yellow, and reds. And be kind of open to, because you're using lots of different mixed media, the pencils, the charcoal, whatever, you know, there might be some things that happen that are a little bit like, oh, I didn't know that that was going to happen. And kind of trying to be open to those sort of things. I think it's just better that way, to be open to them, rather than by, you know, freaking out if something turns a weird color or whatever. Try and embrace the nature of this sort of project. And remember, it's layering. So if there's something you don't like, you can change it. All right, so let's start playing with some more solid color. And here too, we want to think about, you know, where do we want the viewer to look first? And obviously we want them at her face. So that's probably where I'm gonna have the most detail and the most contrast and all that goodness. And then I'm gonna also, I need to work on the hands a little bit, because I think I'd like those to be a part of it. Although the hands might just be outlines. I'm not sure yet. Let's just keep moving. What do I want to do with this? I like that there's this sort of ruffle thing here. Her little shoulder comes out. It's kind of a nice little linear element. And this is the part where you kind of have to just let yourself doodle and like play with lines and just kind of see what happens. I should probably go get my music and put that on and just let myself sort of go with it now that the face is sort of in. Because I don't want to overthink this. This is an Inktense blue pencil, bright blue. I think I'm just gonna go back in here and get these hand in here. And then there's these awesome little butterflies in this piece, or in this photograph, that are really sweet. So I think I do want those in there. There's something about this piece that expresses almost like innocence or something like that. So guys, I'm actually gonna go grab my music and just like let myself kind of go with this and see where it takes me. And I'll take you along for the ride. All right guys, so I'm back. I have my music on, and one of the reasons I do grab music, and you guys might relate to this, is a lot of times I start thinking ahead of the piece, meaning that I start to get ahead of myself basically, and I'm not staying present with the piece. And that is typically when I find I get into trouble. It's typically when I start getting maybe a little bit frustrated. I start worrying that it's not going to work out and all that sort of stuff. And so music helps me really stay more present. It helps me get out of my head. I'm sure you guys can relate to that.